Today's topic is types of users, duties of DBA, and structure of DBMS. Myself is Dr. K.V. Krishnamraju, Associate Professor working in Computer Science and Engineering, Sai Ramakrishna Engineering College. The objective of this lecture is to understand the different types of users in DBMS, to understand different duties of DBA, to understand the structure of DBMS. Variety of people are involved with creation and use of databases. There are four types of users in DBMS based on their usage. They are database implementers, end users, application programmers, database administrators. The database implementers build DBMS software and they are particularly work for vendors such as IBM or Oracle. End users are the users who wish to store and use data in a DBMS. End users may come from different fields. Many end users simply use applications written by database application programmers and so require little technical knowledge about the DBMS software. Some end users make more extensive use of a DBMS, such as writing their own queries. They require a deeper understanding of its features. In addition to end users and implementers, two other classes of people are associated with a DBMS. They are application programmers and database administrators. The database application programmers develop packages that provides data access for end users. For package development, the application programmers use the host or data languages and software tools that DBMS vendors provide. Database administrator DBA is a professional user of DBMS. The DBA is authorized for designing and maintaining the complex and important databases related to corporate and enterprise sectors. In this slide, I am going to discuss about the duties performed by the DBA. The DBA interacts with the different types of users in DBMS to understand what data is to be stored in the DBMS and how it is to be used. Based on this knowledge, the DBA must design the conceptual schema and the physical schema. The DBA may also design widely used portions of the external schema. Security and authorization. The DBA is responsible for ensuring that unauthorized data access is not permitted. In a relational DBMS, users can be granted permission to access only certain views and relations. For example, although you might allow students to find out course enrollments and who teaches a given course, you would not want students to see faculty salaries or each other's grade information. So the DBA can enforce this policy by giving students permission to read only the course info view only. Data availability and recovery from failures. The DBA must take steps to ensure that if the system fails, users can continue to access as much of the uncorrupted data as possible. The DBA must also work to restore the data to a consistent state. The DBMS provides software support for these functions. The DBA is also responsible for implementing procedures to back up the data periodically and maintain logs of system activity to facilitate recovery from a crash. The DBA is responsible for modifying the database, in particular the conceptual and physical schemas, to ensure adequate performance as requirements change. This diagram represents the structure of the DBMS. The DBMS accepts SQL commands generated from a variety of user interfaces such as web forms, applications, and SQL interface. Query Optimizer produces an efficient execution plan for evaluating the query. An execution plan is a blueprint for evaluating a query, usually represented as a tree of relational operators. The file and access methods layer supports the concept of a file and indexes. The buffer manager brings pages in from disk to main memory in response to read requests. The disk space manager is the lowest layer of the DBMS, deals with management of space on disk. The transaction manager is responsible for executing the transactions in DBMS environment. During execution of transactions, the request and release locks according to a suitable locking protocol. The lock manager keeps track of requests for locks and grants locks on database objects when they become available. The recovery manager is responsible for maintaining a lock and restoring the system to a consistent state after a crash. The disk space manager, buffer manager, and file and access method layers must interact with the transaction manager, lock manager, and recovery manager. In this lecture, we learned about the different types of users in DBMS environment, duties of DBA, and structure of DBMS. Thank you.